As the Maui fires raged, veteran victims had to fend for themselves. Reality turned upside down. The sky outside was onyx. Smoke alarm started screaming. Her 2 cats ran away. The 81-year-old found herself picking up a face mask and eye drops, throwing herself downhill into parking lot of Hale Mahaolu Eono, a low-income senior living complex she called home. St. Clair passed her neighbor Joe Schilling, who was scanning his phone for information about the fire that darkened the sky. St. Clair hopped in the Honda and drove flames away from the complex that would quickly turn into affordable heavenly scorched rubble. 2 weeks after a conflict, Lahaina was in St. Clair is lucky. Among the homeless, but alive. The survivors may not be 8 residents, which is about a quarter of the total living there. Schilling left. A relative who said had last texted from a unit he said had gathered with 5 other neighbors. Anbe is not taken into account. 3 other residents, aged 79 to 90 years, all had difficulty walking. 3 more, 78 to 98, remain missing. 115 people and possibly hundreds more were killed. The fire that left this cozy oceanside town in ruins. Their names and ages buried ash amid painstaking efforts to identify the dead. But the few ages that authorities have named so far point the disproportionate toll of natural disasters on seniors who are unable to walk easily, rather than run or use a smartphone aid their escape. 21 of the 27 people named so far were over 65. Half of those killed by Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans in 2005 were older than 75. In Northern California's 2018 Campfire, the deadliest conflict before Lahaina, 66 of the 85 deaths identified were over 65. Nearly half of the dozens killed were aged 65 or over when Hurricane Sandy struck the New York tri-state area in 2012. Nancy LeaMond, AARP Executive Vice President, said the need to prioritize this population as climate change causes more natural disasters and the population grows. State-local leaders, emergency officials must be better equipped, prepared to ensure that older adults are kept safe, their needs met when a disaster strikes. In interviews, Hale Mahaolu Eono residents and relatives in Lahaina said the opposite. The government was unable to improve bushfire prevention or warnings and said staff had left hours before the major fire started. Instead, as in most of Lahaina, the neighbors distrusted each other, or no one at all. I thought they left me there to die, Kathleen Sicard, who lives in her 60s, said. Everyone was for themselves. Damage assessment destroyed Lahaina bypass Kelawea Hale Mahaolu Eono Lahaina Lahainaluna Road. Wainee Source Preliminary Damage Assessment by ESRI as of August 14, 12-mile hurricane force winds pushed a fire that overloaded. Firefighters had too little water to contain. Warning sirens did not go off. Maui County officials announced in the early morning that it contained 100% before 9 a.m., but did not order an evac.